Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent Show. My name is Imo Folami. This is the Neurodivergent Show where we discuss all things autism spectrum, all things ADHD, and OCD. Today's show is not the same. It's kind of different. Today I am on the hot seat. Not just me, myself and my husband. Over the years, or over the months, I should say, we've had people ask us a few questions, and we thought, hey, why not let's just do a Q&A? Why not let's share our story and tell you about what our journey has been like. So I will be starting off with some of the questions you'll have asked me, and then in a little bit, my husband is going to come join us and share his neurodivergent story. So I have one question here that says, it says, I would like to know more about you. That's me now, okay? My name is Imo Folami. I happen to be many things, one of which is this. I do YouTube. I'm a published author. I have two books. I have it somewhere. Hold on for me. Yes, I have it. I am the author of two books, Dear Lady and Moments. This is actually on Amazon if you want it. It's Moments 365 Devotions. I am a mom of twin boys. Beautiful, beautiful, awesome, my sweet little angels. I am also a registered nurse. Yes, that I am. I am a wife. I am a believer in Christ Jesus. Um, I also have some side hustles, just because I like doing many things. But that's about it for me, basically. And as we go into the show, I will tell you more about me. If you're here and you're joining us, you're here, you're live, and you can hear me well, I want you to go ahead and give me a thumbs up and also say hi to me, okay? I would appreciate knowing that y'all are here and I'm not just by myself and y'all can hear me. And, that's the essence of going live. So if you're here, please say hi. Please say hi. Leave us a thumbs up, okay? I have another question here. My husband is preparing to come on the show pretty soon. This question says, why the Neurodivergent Show? Why the Neurodivergent Show? Now, this is a question I have asked myself over and over again. Why the show? Why the Neurodivergent Show? I think for me, the Neurodivergent Show didn't just start like in November. It started like decades ago for me. I've always been in search of answers. I've always asked questions as to why this and why that. And growing up with a brother that was kind of different, I think made me even want to question more. What do I mean by different? I grew up with a brother that wasn't like the rest of us. He was here live on the show last week, and he talked to us about his challenges. This boy was just extra restless, extra hyper. He wanted to do everything. He was very smart, of course, but he had something we got to find out was ADHD. And so, having known that, or having grown up with somebody like that, um, I got married and I met another neurodivergent person, kind of different, really. I mean, his approach to things, always wanting everything to be perfect. And I'm like, huh. And then I had my kids. These kids are smarter than their average peers, but they wouldn't talk early. There was just something different about them. And I started searching and searching and searching for answers. And I think it was sometimes this year I got to encounter the term neurodivergence. And ever since I started doing my research, I realized there is something called being different. And some people are just different in terms of the way their brains wired, different in terms of the way they function, the way they see life, the way they view life. And no, it's not just a personality difference. This is difference in terms of how they're born. And having, you know, thought about it for a minute, look at everyone around me, look at my family, look at my life while growing up, I I I was like, yeah, there's something here. There is something here. And thankfully I started researching, um, got to find out that my brother, of course, got ADHD. My husband is going to be coming on the show very soon. He also has something he's going to be sharing with us, and my kids also being neurodivergent. And that's how the show kicked off. I also have many friends and family that are neurodivergent, and many of us are like searching for answers as to why our kids especially acts in such a very different way than their peer would. Okay, enough about me. Let's get on to my husband right now. Let's see. Let's bring him in. Okay, we're gonna do this. Yes. Hi, sir. You are live on the Neurodivergent show. Hi, hi. My husband of 7 years. Hi, my love.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing great, sir. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Hello, everybody online. We
We
appreciate you for
have
joining.
Neurodivergent show. Many people have been like, "Where is he? Where is your hubby? You know, the one you're always talking about." Because I have mentioned you more. You're shaking your head, and people
Mhm.
have actually been seeking to speak with you and to meet you and to know more about you. But before we get into that, everyone, I want you all to please, please give a shout out to this man. This man is just awesome. Is a wonderful father, is the best husband any woman can ask for. Is just sometimes it's like I do not know how to describe him. He's not perfect, of course, but is is the producer of the show, right? Is behind the scenes. My dreams are never too big for him. Nothing I ever do is too big for him. And so because of that, I really, really want to appreciate you, my husband. You're a godsend to me. You're a godsend to this world. And thank you for just being awesome, just being you. Tolu Lokbe Folami, welcome to the Neurodivergent Show. Are you happy to be here finally? No? Yeah?
I'm here to defend myself. So,
He says he's here to defend himself. All right, if you're here and you're live with us on YouTube, I want you to go ahead and say hi to us, okay? So we can say hi in return, say hi to us. And today is very interactive. We're going to be sharing our journey, our story, and we also want you to ask us questions, okay? So if you have questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment so that we can read them out and we can answer those questions. Okay. So I have a question here for you. It's what people have asked me for a while now. They said, "How long have we been married?" Um, Maybe we should start with that, and then we'll go back to the beginning, our neurodivergent journey and all. So I think I mentioned that when before you came in. So how long have we been married? Do you?
so uh, I believe we've been married for 7 years now.
All right,
Or not believe, I know we've been
that's
married.
better, and you must get it right now. Okay.
I know we've been married for 7 years, but of course, we've known each other now. Oh dear Lord, since 2004,
Hmm.
we've known each other, and yeah, it's been a journey, getting to understand my partner, and my partner understanding who I am, because the reality is that when two people get married, necessarily when you're dating, cutting, and everything like that, you don't really know each other, because at that point in time you're showing your best, so you don't get to know each other. And also, even when you see those signs, when you see those things, you're too much in love.
Wow.
You're too much in love, to
Love. You're like,
actually
I'm in love.
to see. And as we go on in the conversation, you will get to understand some of those things, because I saw some things, but I saw the signs, but
What,
I was blind to
what,
it.
what, what
So,
what are you trying to say? We're getting feedback from, I just want to check what's going on. Okay. All right, so I think we're good. We're getting notification that we're live and everything is good. If there's something going on, echo, anything that would happen whenever we are live, please let us know in the comment section. And very soon we're also going to be opening the phone lines so that you all can join us and contribute to the show. Okay, so we want to go back to the beginning because today is all about our neurodivergent story. So we want to share, but before we do that, can we know how, when we say neurodivergent, we know that you're neurodivergent. Can you tell us more about that? I know it's self-diagnosed and all. Can you just tell us, let's know more about you, please?
Well, some people say I'm OCD, but I
Oh,
don't know.
oh, everybody.
But of course, OCD basically means, let me put it in a layman's term instead of the big word, is everything around you has to be perfect, including your surroundings, everything you do, everything has to be clean, in order, not just in order, it has to be in a particular order, particularly arranged, all to the T, the number, the colors, everything has to be arranged. And even to the grain of rice, it has to be arranged.
Is
And
the grain of rice. You know what?
yeah,
You have trained me so much right now. I've been married to you, what now, 7 years? Now, I didn't used to see those things before, but I tell you, I've lived with my husband, my awesome husband, for 7 years now. And now I can see things. I can see little things like grains and stuff. And so when it says even to the slightest thing, like the grains of rice, even anything, cereal, anything, the tiniest thing, um, he is very sensitive to it, and it kind of Go ahead, sir. Let's just have you continue.
yeah. So, like she said, to the grain of rice, even I can spot. I'm telling you, what's the smallest thing you can spot from a mile away? A dust. I can spot a dust on the floor
Wow.
from a mile, 2 miles away, and so that's the way I'm wired. Everything just have to be good, fine. Um, And so with the OCD thing, it goes as far as if, like, let's say, for example, right now, the kitchen, the house is not in order before I go to sleep. I cannot sleep. I have to literally wake up. Everything has to be in order
Mm.
before I can actually go back to bed and sleep. So yeah, so that's me, in a nutshell, and with the whole neurodivergent thing that I'm working with. So pardon me. So,
Okay. Tolu Aladesi says she's clapping. Thank you so much. She says, I can hear you clearly. Thank you. Tony says, hi, Imo. Hi, Tony. Thank you for joining us on the Neurodivergent Show. And we appreciate y'all's comments. And if you have questions, go ahead and ask, or contributions or anything, you want to share on the show, please. It's very interactive. Thank you for joining us once again. And in case you're just joining us, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Okay, we would appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel, if you like comments and all these kind of things. They're things that help us, bring the show up every week. So thank you for that. Okay, so my husband, T, as everyone knows him, I got married to you April. That was when we had our court wedding, and then we had a traditional wedding back in Africa, sometimes in September. And I always wondered though, like when I first married you, I think one of the things that worked out for us was we didn't court for long, right? And also we had this long distance thing. Do you think that was helpful to us in terms of our neurodivergence journey? Do you think if we were together in the US, like you were in the US and I was back in Africa, do you think if we were together, do you think we would have worked out though?
so I won't say yes or no to that, because if you look at the journey of our lives, what would have happened either way, because the old journey, the old story, God brought us together. So either way, if we had done a long courtship, or we've dated for long, um, if we were meant to be together, we would have still been together, regardless of whatever the shortcomings or the weaknesses are, or if you had seen my neurodivergence, that would have mattered at that point in time,
Are you
because again,
sure? Hey, be honest. Be honest. Are you sure? I mean, of course, the God factor, we would have been together regardless. But if you had, like, if we had been together in the US for 2 years, you, with the way you were so perfect, everything has to be in place. And me, the queen of whatever, I'll clean it in the morning. Are you sure? Huh? Be honest, please. Are you? I mean, of course, I understand that we know we will be and all, but the reason I'm getting people to understand is sometimes things work together for good, right? And I kind of feel like our long distance relationship was a blessing because I do not know. We're very stubborn people, and we're two very opinionated people, and we want what we want. And I do not know that it would have worked out. So what I'm saying is, if you're a Christian and things are like, and things, sometimes it actually works together. And I'm so glad that we did not have a long courtship. I'm so glad I wasn't in the US when you were cutting, because you would have done something. And back then I was really like, Tolu is here. Tolu knows me. She calls me crazy. I don't know if I used to be like, I wasn't that patient. I'm like, okay, we can't, it's not happening, and I'm saying in my head, oh, these are warning flags from God. This one will not let you be. He will say the bed must be arranged this way, the chair must be arranged this way. I'm like, no, 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 no. I would have thought I couldn't live with that. And you would have seen me also and seen, oh, the way she does, she can be carefree sometimes and stuff. And you're like, So in a way, things work together for good. And if something is going on in your life right now, even if it's not perfect, it could be a blessing, because I feel like our own long distance was a blessing. And if you search for the blessing, or if you want to look at it, if you wait and see, you'd see that as a Christian, I feel like that's what God wanted to do. Everything God did on purpose, right? So we are married, right? Now we are married. What was life like for marrying this girl that, okay, I'm just going to let you tell the story, but be nice, be nice, nice. All right, go on, sir. What was
all right,
the impression
yeah.
like I had? I'm stuck with this, and what was it like for you? I'm talking about the frustration, the not so good. What was it like for you?
So basically, it's just trying to understand, especially not understanding the neurodivergence at the beginning, initial stage, and understanding just me as a person, that okay, this is who I am, and Imo is my wife, and I just had that belief that okay, since you are my wife and you love me, you're supposed to also, go in the direction I'm going. Love what I love, try to do what I do. No questions asked. You're just supposed to do that. And that was where the old clash always comes from, where again, of course, two different people, opinionated people, different backgrounds, understanding of things. So of course, that's where those clashes came from, where again I'm trying to like, okay, can't you see it from my own
Mm,
direction? Can't you see that that place have to be cleaned twice? Can't you see that okay, you need to put this way? How can you sleep like this? How can you, put this way? Why is your shoe upside down? So things like that, I was coming from my own thinking, not thinking about the way that, okay, maybe she's looking at it from a different perspective. So those were and the funny thing about it is the fact that that was 95% of our conflict in our marriage for the last 7 years, literally, which is just that aspect of the cleaning part. For people that know us, shout out to Springtime family, that know us. Every time, we come, we talk about, our family, we share the number one thing. People know already. They tell the chorus it.
Did you claim?
That cleaning, right? Is it cleaning? So they know already where the conflict comes from. And over the years, we were actually talking about it today. Before today, actually, she was supposed to have a different show today, and today was actually when we decided that okay, I was going to come
Oh,
on.
this wasn't planned. It
So
wasn't even
it was
rehearsed.
like
Just said, let's do. Okay, okay.
that was like around 3 p.m. today,
I
3 p.m.
know.
Central Time. That was when I decided to come on, and we were just talking generally on what has changed over time because the earliest stage of my life before I even got married to my wife, the people around me got the worst of this. And my mom, she used to stay with me, and it was I used to be worse than this. And I told my wife that she was like, "Really, you used to be worse than this?" Like, yeah, I used to, I used to be worse than this. And what I mean by that is, you know, you can't cook where you can't cook in my kitchen because I don't want to see oil. I don't want to see a spill. The smell of the food. No smelling of food in the house. If you are to cook, I won't be at home, and I have to leave the house for you to cook. And before I get back, everything has to be set, arranged, pots cleaned, plates cleaned, wiped down. I don't want to smell that fish. I don't want to smell the chicken. I don't want to smell the beef. I don't want to smell nothing. I don't want to see anything. So that was how I used to be before. So getting married, you can now imagine how that is when you have a wife that is really really opinionated. Now she's her own self, and now you're trying to now impose that on her. You can that should explain the story for you guys to picture that won't turn out well. So and so it gets to that part where again that I just had to be conscious of the fact that okay, now I'm married, okay, um too late, I can't get out. So I just have to you know you know grow up and deal with some things, even though of course it's not conducive. Mentally, psychologically, I'm stressed.
Mm.
And that's the reality. I get stressed when I see dirt, when I see um, um, a place that is disorganized. I get stressed. Even though I can turn it off, but again, there's a limit to the way I can turn things off when it comes to when things are disorderly. So yeah.
David Tolu says, I say yes. Love. Thank you. People that know you, shout out to our springtime family. Olufumi Mulero says, wow, but you can eat. Thank you, Jesus, and thank you, Imo. Thank you. I'll take it. Um,
Let me respond to that. I don't eat, okay? So you can ask him more. I don't eat. So whatever vegetable she cooks and everything, I don't hardly eat vegetables. So yeah.
he doesn't eat. I guess that's what makes it worse. But we'll get into all that. The reason we're here today, to come share our story, is that we want people to understand that marriages are not perfect. My own marriage is by the least perfect. It's not perfect at all. And I found out that these are the kind of things that would cause things like, I mean, of course, you cooking beans or cooking rice or whatever it is you're cooking vegetable is not going to cause separation or divorce, right? But just the fact that things like that happen over and over again, disagreement, clashes, you know, um, different personality coming into together, it can be some of those things that should naturally want to cause things like, of course, we know there's stronger things like infidelity and things like that, but we're just putting it out there for people to know that even with your spouse being the way your spouse is, if you would decide, like, it doesn't have to be the end of the relationship, it doesn't have to lead to separation. It doesn't. If your can decide you don't want it. One of the things I appreciate my husband for is we're in this. No matter how much we fight, we are not cancelers or trying to be cancelers. We're just trying to share our story and what's worked for us. No matter how we disagree, how deep the fight is and all, we are on the same team. The marriage comes first. The relationship comes first. And so when he's driving me crazy because he doesn't want me to cook my favorite dish, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? This should not affect you. You can take a walk, and we're having all these problems. Eventually, we come back and we're like, okay, what caused it? And now that I am beginning to understand the fact that he's neurodivergent and he also understands that I do not have OCD, we're beginning to meet in the middle. And I feel like if many relationships may know this, it can actually work, right? Because many people, the problem they're having with their spouse is ADHD. They don't know. Their spouse is OCD. They don't know. Their spouse is autistic, maybe. They don't know. But what they see is the symptom, what their spouse is doing, what their spouse is doing. But if you would go down and go back to the roots and check it out and decide like, oh, this is really what is going on and try to come from a place of understanding, then it's going to be better. For instance, I've tried to make a lot of compromise. A lot of times I don't really cook vegetable as much in the house. I mean, sometimes I still do, but I found I had somebody who was making it out there and she makes it better and I like it and it works. So less conflict. I know that there is something about him and cleaning. He loves cleaning, and I try to take it upon myself. So, you have a question now. I try to take it upon myself. It's not going to be perfect, yo, because even if I clean, I still told him today, I was like, even if I get a cleaning lady to come clean, it's never perfect. My husband will come home. He has changed. Things are better. Things are better. He will just come home. Like you've cleaned, you've spent the last 30 minutes. You're cleaning, you have dusted, you have cleaned, you have done everything. Like, okay, perfect. My husband will just come. He'll be like, wow, I have some grains of something. I'm like, are you serious right now? And that used to drive me so mad. I'm like, I just spent the last 30 minutes trying to please you. I just cleaned, I just mopped, I sprayed. And that's the only thing you can see. And that would make me so mad. I would be so upset. And he would be upset. Like, why are you mad? I just told you it's a grain. You can always clean it. I'm like, that's the only thing you see. And we go off and off. But now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I think I'm becoming numb to some things, really. And I'm just like, do you want me to clean it or are you going to clean it? And so if he says, I just like, okay. And so he does most of the cleaning now. I mean, he complains about it, but he does it to his taste. Tolu has a question here. She says, question for Mr. Tolu. Would you have preferred a woman who likes things to be done perfectly like you? That's a very good question. Would you have preferred a woman who likes things to be done perfectly like you?
I think I'll go with with science right here, which is like repels and opposite attract. So I think if I have someone as as organized as me, I don't think that would have lasted. That's the reality right there. Because at the end of the day, it's just going to be a boring marriage. Because whether you like it or not, those clashes makes things interesting.
They do. I told him God made me crazy on purpose for you because your life would have been so boring. Like, forget it. Like, and thank you. Well said. And that's a very good question, Tolu. Thank you for asking that. Absolutely. Um, I don't think I don't think I would have tolerated someone who is as disorganized as or more disorganized than I am. We would have had a problem. Yes, we would have. I mean, it drives me crazy, but it's good crazy because I come home, the house is neat. And I also drive him crazy. I mean, it's not perfect. So I think that also makes him upset. And I think that does something to him that makes him happy. I don't know. But the point, why is making me, he always makes me feel like I'm crazy. I'm not. It's good crazy. Jesus crazy. Anyway, so yeah. So we're married now. Going on 1, 2 years, we used to have that problem every time. It was the cleaning. It would be the cleaning. I was pregnant. My husband would still say I've not cleaned enough. And at some point, I think I stopped cleaning. And then that was another issue because it felt like you started doing most of the things, which is like what still happens in our house. I think I just stopped because it felt like it didn't really matter. Even if I clean, even if I didn't clean, you would still find something with it. And so, how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel though? When it looked like, did it make you feel like I stopped caring? How did you interpret that as a neurodivergent person with OCD?
So at the initial stage, yes, I felt that way, that you just didn't care. And again, a lot of things, once you start thinking something, other thousands of things start running through your head and your brain, like, okay. And you begin to doubt some things. Am I supposed to be in this marriage in the first place? Have I gotten married to the wrong person? This person that can't even understand where I'm coming from, this person that can't even understand what I like, but she wants me to do what she likes. So those things start coming up in your head, and until, again, I can't stress this enough, which is understanding. It matters a lot. If your spouse, again, like my wife said, we are not trying to cancel anybody, we are not counselors, we are not trying to preach to nobody, we are not trying to tell anybody what to do. But again, we're just telling our story, which is do your homework. If your wife is acting some type of way, if your husband is acting some type of way, do your homework.
There's always
Read about it.
always
Read
something,
about it.
something.
You
There's
know,
behind it. When people are acting up, when people are, and it goes on for a little bit. I know we see the attitude and we see all that is going on, but there is always something behind it. There's always something.
So read about it, study about it. We have lots and lots of resources out there. Now that we have the internet, we have a lot of resources. Read about it, and again, try to understand that individual, the way they're acting, And I think that was one of some of the things that helped us in the later years of our marriage, close to the 7 year mark, which is, again, getting to now understand, okay, this person, this is the way they are. They are not going to change. So there's no point. And, my pastor used to say something. Shout out to our pastor. He used to say something. He said, when you begin to, you know, see some things as not an issue anymore, it's not that the issue is not there, it's because of your maturing. So the issue is still the same. That person has not changed, but it's just that you yourself, you have to mature as an individual. So when you mature as an individual, then that's where tolerance comes into play, where you now begin to tolerate your spouse. You begin to tolerate some of the things that they do. And again, love is patient and kind. Does not envy or boast, is not arrogant or rude. So love, again, in that part, again, now you now go back to the part of, okay, what attracted me to this person in the first place? Now you hold into that part. So you have to basically scatter everything on the ground and repick everything, where again you now begin to count your coins again. You begin to count those numbers again from start. Okay, why did I get married? Why did I get married to this person? That's the positive right there.
Uh,
Now you begin to work on the weaknesses, which is, okay. These are the weaknesses, the ones you can talk about with the person. You talk to the person about it, and again, you mature. And now, when it comes to the area of cleaning and everything, I see it as a workout now because I hardly go to the gym. So yeah, I have a gym. I don't use it. So I see it as a workout session for myself because my day job is I sit down all day. So once I'm done with the job, you know, mopping the floor, cleaning this and that, I take it psychologically. I took it as, okay, it's a way for me to exercise. And again, I embraced peace. because trust me, you don't want to go get into it with emo. Oh dear Lord, I can deal. But I embrace peace. So when you embrace and you want to decide to embrace peace, there are some things that you need to do, and I began to do those things myself. In the area of cooking now, um, things that could cause a mess, I do it for her. So let's say, for example, she wants to make the veggies or the vegetables. She wants to make jollof rice or something. I blend the peppers. I cut the onions. I do things that I know that she has the weakness in doing, things that could cause a conflict. I go ahead and get it done because at the end of the day, if she does it, it's double work for me anyway. So I'll rather just do it and get it out of the way, while I'm doing other things, listening to my podcast or things like that. So I just get it out of the way. So the main thing is maturity, just getting matured, and life is too short. So why fight every day? So yeah.
And what you just said now, I promise you all, is what it lives. Everything is just said now, is everything is lived. And I can see it how, we have gotten better over the period of years. He's saying what you just said now, babe, is so beautiful. And I like that. And I'm hoping it's something people can use. Like, there's something that may look like negative, but if you embrace it, it can turn to positive, right? You said now that cleaning a lot is workout for you. And you know that there is a way the devil messes with your mind and messes with your marriage. But by the time you have the Holy Spirit guiding you and leading you in what's right, the Holy Spirit can help you turn around that which should have been like a big problem into something you actually even look forward to and something you enjoy. And I appreciate you for sharing that. And I hope somebody can pick that and pick that which may be a disdain in your life and try to find the positive around it, because you can, and it can be something that can actually make your marriage better for it. Okay. So Olufumi Mulero says, if you guys are perfect, the house will be boring. I absolutely agree. Thank you guys. If you're just joining us, please leave a comment for us. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah. Tolu says, embracing peace, that is so key. Absolutely. It is key. It is key. Um, Leave us a comment, please. You can call in also. We're going to be opening the phone lines in about 3 minutes, and you can call in and ask us questions, or, give your contribution, some of the things that's been working for you in your marriage. If you're married to a neurodivergent person, and if not, that's okay too. We would like to hear from you in about 3 minutes. We'll put to open the phone
And
line.
I want to
Go ahead, sir.
and I want to touch and I want to touch on something. So based on what I said right now,
Yeah.
in a present piece, that doesn't mean that emo or myself, we didn't have work we had to do ourselves.
Mm.
As much as I'm embracing peace to do it, she too, she's making efforts as well to meet me halfway. So that is very important to know. So, and the reason why I said that is because so that way you're not hearing me and you're like, okay, yeah, they just have to accept me for my weaknesses. No, even in your weaknesses, God has given you the ability to learn. That's why we are all learned, right? You learn. And that's again is take and receive, right? That's what marriage is, not just give, 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 is reciprocation.
Wow.
When your husband is given, the wife has to reciprocate. That's what makes it work as well. So as much as try to embrace the weaknesses and everything, my wife too, she's working, putting in the shift to make sure that she meets me. There are some things that she does now that I'm like, oh, okay, that's sexy, okay. I see you.
Okay.
So it's just over time, making effort. So I just said I should put that out there, that you as the person that is weak, you just don't sit down and complain and give excuses that I don't know how to do it. You have to make effort. That's what makes your marriage work. You have to make effort.
Oh, Tolu says, change in perspective, cleaning as an exercise. I know, cleaning as an exercise. Isn't that just like mind blowing? Thank you so much, babe, for sharing that. And thank you, Tolu, also. for taking that. I'm taking it as well, and I'm exercising. I think maybe in the future. Okay, we're going to be. You're laughing at me. He does this every time. The calling number is 817-935-8734. 817-935-8734. And you can also leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're feeling. Please do like and subscribe as well. Would like to hear from you. Okay, so I do not know if we're going to be able to get into the kids and raising a neurodivergent kids, because I want us to really own our marriage, and hopefully, just be able to share some of the things, like part of what we've been talking about, so that others can learn. So let's see. You've mentioned a few things that you did, right? Like you're doing now, you're cleaning more, you're doing
Mhm.
things just to make sure. And I also would say some of the things I've done on my own part as well is I try not to cook as often, right? Because I know that in a way it has this heightened sensitivity to smell and, the whole house. So what I try to do is I cook maybe once in 2 weeks and I just put everything in the refrigerator. Sometimes I just order in, right? So that way, it's less cooking. And, some of the things I also do is I try to make an effort. I know that it may not be perfect for him, but I still make an effort to at least clean after the kids are done, mop after the kids are done. I'm still working on it, and I'm a work in progress. And I hope that, the more we continue in our marriage, the more I'm able to learn and grow. And you also are able to understand that I'm not OCD, right? I think one of the things that also helped you is realizing that I'm not like you. I don't see what you see. And I tell you often, when you come into the house, I cannot see what you see. I cannot, well, up until now, I didn't used to see the grain of rice on the floor. I couldn't see all these things. And so when you're mad at me for not seeing them, it makes me even mad. I'm like, I'm not you. I'm never going to be like you. But at least I'm adjusting here and there to make sure that, because like I said, we are on the same team. We are on the same team. This is our marriage. Our marriage is important. Um, our relationship, our family is important. And whatever it may be, whatever issue may come up, we must put our marriage first. And I'm so thankful I have somebody that I'm able to fight in the ring with, because it's not easy fighting by yourself or fighting alone. You really always want to have somebody, that you're willing to work together. You're willing to, drop the ego. A lot of ego going on. I see in relationships, everybody's trying to be right. Everyone is trying to make a point. Everyone is trying to, but if we can all just drop that and all, we'll realize that marriage as God intended is so beautiful, so wonderful. Just having that partner, having that person that you can, that companionship is beautiful. Okay, sir. So let's look at you back then and you now. What are the things, like, if you could go back and tell yourself your 1 year old, so, or your one, like, when you just got married 1 year, do you understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say, like, your newlywed self, if you could go back and, oh, we have calls coming in. All right, let's take this one real quick. Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent show. What's your name? Would you like to share your name and where you're calling from, please?
Yo, hi, how you doing? Um,
Go ahead, sir.
I'm calling from Grand Prairie. I'd like to remain anonymous, yeah?
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So, a good show. I appreciate the show. Learning quite a lot.
Thank you.
Shout out to Tolu. Yeah. So the question is more of a question rather than an experience, yeah? So the question is, you guys are saying all this because you have gotten to this level, yeah? So, I have a question for Tolu and you. For Tolu is, how did you get to the level to realize that, okay, this is the kind of person I am? Because it takes somebody to get to that level to know that, okay, oh, me, I've got OCD. Before you now know that, okay, because I have this trait or have this attribute, I have to do X, Y, Z. That's for Tolu. How was he able to know that I have this special attribute, you know? And then for you, how were you able to adjust to, first off, how did you know that it's like this guy has this special thing, like he's the kind of person that while you are eating, he will sweep a grain of rice just underneath you, you know? So those are my questions. How were you able to get to that level?
Oh,
We lost that caller, but I think he passed his point across. Babe, do you want to go ahead and take that?
oh yes, of course. So realization, I would say of who I am came way before I got married. So I knew who I was, from when I was younger, because everything that has to do with being disorganized just stressed me out. Myself and my brother, we fought a lot, because he's just that person that, you know, takes the powder, just drops it on the floor, and you know, my boy is here.
To them.
Go to your room. And, yeah. So going to so yeah, so I knew who I was, but again, I knew who I was as a single person now.
Aye.
So it's different as a single person than when you're married, because as a single person, there are some things you can control. Things I could control as a single person is the person coming to my house, having friends over, you know, you can control things like that, having visitors over. But
Aye.
when you are now married, it takes a different turn now, because you now have someone that is there, not going anywhere. So, you know, so so when I got to realize that was when, I remember the very first time when we got married, the honeymoon stage was over, and she was trying to cook, and I was like, no, you can't cook that. And she returned the fire back. So that was when I remember, that was when, it dawned on you, like, oh,
Shoot.
you can't tell her to leave. So she's in your kitchen,
No,
like,
it's
what
no.
do I do? There's no turning back at this point. So that's when that realization comes in, when you try to tell out when I tried to tell her what to do at that initial stage. And there was that pushback that no, it's not gonna fly this way. So that was when that realization came. And of course, we went through that stage of battling it, that okay, you have to bend to my rule. You have to bend to the way things have to be done. You have to bend. And because we make that mistake. She's talked about something of ego right here, which is I'm the man of the house, and everything I say goes. You try to throw everything, your kitchen sink, everything. Try to throw that at the issue. Just trying to make. I try to make her bend to that will and everything, and you know. But over the years, what that led to was more conflict than resolution, which means, so when I say more conflict, which is those times you're supposed to enjoy your wife, half of the time or more than half of the time, you're fighting with her. Those times you're supposed to spend together creating memories, you're busy fighting a war. So, and that was what came to that realization that, you know what? And things begin to happen around you, things begin to happen around you, and little things brings realization, maybe a friend that passed away or something, just gives you that realization that, man, if you continue this way, what memories are you creating for your spouse, for your kids, for yourself? Are you just going to fight this war all through your life? And whether you like it or not, you're growing older. When are you going to actually enjoy your wife if you're fighting every single day? She's getting old, you're getting old.
Yeah, Daddy, say hi. All right. All right, you gotta go. Thank you. Yeah, we have some comments here. Lara says hi. She says, plus life is too short to build on negativity. I actually agree. See, and what is said also, I hope you've been able to answer our caller's question. Um, some of the things that helped me is just realizing that my husband is different. Just understanding that, oh, is different, and understanding that him being different is not necessarily a bad thing, because in the process of, or instead of looking at everything and wondering, let me change it to me only. Instead of, let's take that one out real quick. Instead of wondering, like, why is it shouting at me? Why is it doing this? Why is it? I started realizing like it wasn't doing that to upset me. It was doing that because that's who he is. And when I started coming from a place of understanding, like it kind of has this, I wouldn't call it panic or anxiety when things are not the way it should be. I didn't want to cause him more distress. So I started trying to adjust just so as to help him. And the more I adjusted, so I met him, he met me. I met him, he met me. And by God's grace, each and every day, we're still meeting each other. And so, for anybody who's got married or who is about to get married, I want to tell you that marriage is beautiful. I know you've had so many horror stories. You've had so many, and it's going on. And I'm not saying that those people don't have a right or, what's going on in their marriage. But what I'm saying is marriage can also be so beautiful. Many times we've realized that once we let our guards and just embrace marriage the way God has intended, we're better off for it because we're enjoying each other. And the energy it takes to fight and to, we just enjoy each other. And because of that, we're happier, right? So why do I want to keep suffering and keep trying to make my own points known, keep trying to pass a message, keep trying to make sure that I get my way when I can just meet my husband halfway, he can meet me halfway, and we can just have fun and enjoy, you know? Okay, we have the kids. My husband is still trying to run around to put the kids together. If you have questions, please, I want you to go ahead and put it in the comment section. Jason, you have to. Jason, I'm live. See, I'm live. See? Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Usually, what happens is my husband is the one that keeps them while I go live. So you see, one of the things that happens when we go when we go live together. Thank you for sure. No, you have to go, sweetie. Thank you.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Thank you. All right, thank you guys. So sorry about that. Um, so one of the other things that I think that has helped us in our journey is raising our kids. Our kids are neurodivergent, and I think we'll just own in on that more maybe next week and just talk about raising a neurodivergent kid because our time is fast spent. Um, our kids are neurodivergent, so when we first had them, it was kind of we just didn't understand because first of all, our kids, they weren't making eye contact. That's when I knew something was going on. And then they weren't talking, although they hit all of their other developmental milestones. But I'm a mom, and so I know that something is going on. And so we had them, and eventually we realized like, oh, these kids are actually neurodivergent. They're not typical, like their other mates and stuff. And I think it's one of those things also that has helped us calm down because we knew we had to be there for them, and we knew we had to figure it out as we went. And thankfully I have a husband who is let me add him, is back now. Things been able to settle the kids. Give me 1 second. Hi, Han. Are the kids settled?
Yeah, they are.
All right. I was just talking to our listeners, sharing our neurodivergent kids story and telling them we probably will be back next week to just really discuss raising neurodivergent kids and all. But I said that that's also helped us in our marriage, right? Just raising kids that are different. And those kids are challenged us in because, when it was just me and you, I can decide, oh, I'm not eating, blah. But when you have kids, then you have to eat, then you have to clean, and then the issue will come up. So that actually made us fight the more. I think after we had the kids, and it also made us wonder what kind of marriage we wanted. And so that made us go back to the drawing board every time to say, oh, we know that the kids, although they are not stress factors, but just because they are in, it's just going to heighten all the craziness going on around. And I guess having kids, thankfully, has helped us, in realizing that, oh, we're different, and in realizing how much we want our marriage to be, to just have a good marriage. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, babe.
Yes, I understand. Because at the end of the day, your kids will calm you. So that'll be the word out there, which is they will calm you because now they get to a certain age that you have to become that role model to them at the end of the day. And having the kind of kids that we have, they're super smart. And what I mean by that is they learn a lot, they catch things a lot. And again, you know, you have to now find that balance now on, being that neurodivergent person and now having to raise two boys that are actually looking at you because they are actually closer to me. Both of them, they're actually closer to me, and watching how I do things, and me now being that OCD person, do I really want to impact my kids with that? Not maybe not, because I know the impact of that. With me personally, relationships around me and everything like that, how that impacts. So again, of course, I want my kids to learn because I believe, we're still talking about this today. Cleanliness is close to godliness. I embrace that because you can't say you love God if you're not organized, if you're discombobulated. You can't say you love God, and God doesn't love to come into a disorganized place, a dirty place.
Okay.
So I'm a believer of that. So of course I'm going to teach my kids, how to be that, organized, clean people they are, but not to an extent of being an OCD. So now finding that balance, really calmed me, to be able to know that okay, I'm not in this by myself, um, and I have other people that are looking up to me. And again, life is too short
Yeah.
because this issue of conflict, it goes as bad as we go on vacation and we go on a 7-day vacation. 4 days out of the seven we are fighting, and you just come to that realization: what's the point? Instead of creating memories, you're fighting. So what's now the point? So all those things all together, with age, you just begin to like, well, maybe I need to do things differently. So, and that's what has helped so far. So,
Absolutely. Well said. Our time is fast spent. We're going to be, babe, are we going to be back next week and discuss really raising a neurodivergent kid, how it started for us, and what it's like raising our twin boys? You think we can do that?
I have to check my contract. You have to pay me more. Then, yeah.
I got you, babe. So it's official. We're going to be back next week to discuss raising a neurodivergent kid because we cannot get into that today. But we just want to appreciate everyone who's listening to us today. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to us. I want to say a big shout out to Tolu, Lara, say a big shout out to David, Fumi, everyone's that's called in, that's tuned in, that's given us a like, that's hit a like button. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. We appreciate you. Um, and I hope you've been able to learn something. I've learned something even from listening to my husband. Someone here says Mr. Jermaine. Okay, Mr. Jaman. Thank you, Mr. Jaman. Um, thank you um for choosing to listen and hopefully picked something from this relationship, that can help you. And babe, I do not know if you have a final word.
No, I just want to appreciate everyone for joining in today. And again, I can't stress this enough, which is we are not here to cancel you, tell you what to do, but do your homework. If your wife, your husband is acting some type of way, do your homework. Because again, there's a reason why you're married to the person is not by mistake. There's something that attracted you to the person in the first place. So rediscover that and do your homework and work on the weaknesses.
Yeah. And marriage can be beautiful if you want it to be. Marriage can be beautiful. It can be wonderful if both of you choose it to be. It doesn't have to be horrible. Um, it can be what you make of it, and it's going to entail hard work, a lot of selflessness, a lot of tolerating each other, a lot of understanding each other, a lot of praying together, a lot of choosing each other every day, which is what myself and Tulu try to do. This is the Neurodivergent Show, and I am Imo Folami. Thank you all for being a part of our show. And until next week, 7 p.m. It's 7 p.m. live on YouTube when I come your way again. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye bye.